Rick's Corner. Today I have one of my students, Austin Morrison, who is a professional wrestler, which is his passion, but he has a lot more to offer than that. And you started as a bodybuilder, right?
Well, I started out by, I was weight training, bodybuilding, kind of just doing that in the gym on my own before I was, turned on to your school by a friend of yours, Gerald.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he told me about you. I came about 2 years ago, and I've been training ever since.
Well, let's talk about bodybuilding for a minute.
Okay.
What got you into, and how old were you? What got you into bodybuilding?
I was always interested in it from when I was a little kid. Watching Arnold on TV and Conan the Barbarian. My favorite movie when I was little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just had to watch that. When I was 17, I started training in a gym, and I really liked it, and I kind of stuck with that. But I went in and out of different things. I was going from bodybuilding to doing a lot of cardio to doing different types of boot camps. So I've kind of, I've tried everything. Fitness has just been something that I've been interested in general. For a couple of years I was trying just to gain and be a bodybuilder, and it's just kind of carried over from just having interest in fitness in general, and wrestling's really kind of come right in on that.
Did you know a lot about nutrition when you first got into it?
When I first got into bodybuilding?
Yeah.
I learned as I went. I really didn't have anybody to teach me. It wasn't until I was 19, I think, that I really understood proper nutrition for my body. Before that, I was, I knew I needed protein. I knew I needed, to have a lot of carbs to gain weight, but I didn't know the right way to really do it to be successful and kind of see results until I finally got the right diet plans working for me. So it was a lot of trial and error.
It's a lot of trial and error. And
Yeah.
you're what, 6'4"?
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
So for you to put on weight and to be big, you have to be a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's hard for me because I will naturally lose weight, or if I do a lot of cardiovascular activity, or if I just overtrain. So I have to kind of really monitor it, and depending on what kind of goals I have for the time being, if I need to put on weight, I need to eat a lot of food.
Yeah, because we were just talking about cardio. You can do so much cardio that you end up burning up muscle.
Yes.
And you want to do enough to burn the fat and retain the muscle, otherwise you start to get stringy.
Yeah.
And then it's a constant battle. Say, I think I need to train harder, I need to do more, and then you do more, and you end up getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, and it becomes just this battle where you can't seem to win, and that's when it gets difficult, and you just can't figure out what to do, and people plateau and people give up.
Yeah.
So that's something that I try. I'll work through. I mean, I've failed as many times as I've succeeded in working out, and that's something that you have to be comfortable with.
Well, what's your supplements now? What are you taking?
Right now, I really like to take arginine, the amino acid. I always take that before I train, whether it's in a compound powder that has creatine as well, or if it's by itself. I'll take tribulus terrace extract.
Yeah.
I like that. A little yohimbe, never hurt anybody.
No, I take you.
I take it. Yeah, that saw palmetto.
Yeah.
And then what I've really gotten into is these different types of complex carbohydrate mixes. I'm taking a complex carbohydrate kind of weight gain protein after my workouts. I take a regular whey protein that has no carbs, and I also take this medium chain carbohydrate protein, or not, it's not a protein, it's just a carb, called waxy maize.
I was just going to say waxy maize.
Yeah.
I take that before and after my workout.
Yes.
It gives me a good pump, and what it does is it drives the protein into your muscle after you train.
Yeah, I really actually found this. I'm real happy with that one. I also take a simple sugar too.
Yeah.
I take dextrose, which is just the basic, sugar that your body can, absorb as quick as possible.
And you take Prime.
And I was taking Prime. I haven't taken it as much. Prime is one of those supplements that's a tribulus.
Yeah.
But people are figuring out that, God, what are they putting in this? Because it really works well. So people are skeptical about Prime. They think that there might be stuff in it that's not mentioned.
Even better.
I know, maybe, yeah. So I haven't been on that in a while, but it definitely works.
How many did you take a day on Prime?
I was taking 3 before my workouts and 3 after.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, so maybe I was going to cut it down maybe and get back on it. But that is a lot.
All right, so you've been bodybuilding for quite a while.
Since I was 17, I'm 25 now.
Yeah, you put a lot of size on the past year or two. And then you've also incorporated gymnastics?
I have. I've incorporated gymnastics and yoga and parkour, which is a different type of kind of, gymnastics, I guess you could say. It's the discipline of overcoming objects with just the human body. But yeah, I've really decided to take, my training to a different, kind of equilibrium, basically, by incorporating gymnastics, learning how to flip, controlling my body. It's really kind of changed not only my body composition, but the way I move in the ring. Along with the yoga, which has really been therapeutic, because I would have a lot of nagging injuries in my low back, in my knees, and that is really cleared up by becoming more flexible. And then the parkour has also given me a whole new, set of ideas to incorporate in my wrestling matches.
All right, so you're bodybuilding, you're doing gymnastics, you're doing parkour, and now you're wrestling, and you've had a few pro matches, which we're going to show on here as well. But you also have degrees, and you went for your master's. You got your master's now?
I did. I just completed. I got my certificate, my degree in the mail, like last week. So
and what's your master's in?
It's a Master's of Arts in History, in 12th century literature, to be more specific.
And it wasn't one of your duties is to teach at CSUN?
Yeah, I was part of the teaching program where I would work with the History 150 class, which is Western civilization up to the year 1500. So I was, instructing, grading papers, and I did that for a couple of years, and it was a lot of fun.
There's a big contrast from bodybuilding, parkour, to gymnastics, to pro wrestling, to a master's in teaching as a professor at a university. It's really a big diversity, and it's amazing because you can fit it all. If you really want to do it, you can fit it all in.
That's the thing, and I mean, people, even like just in school, I remember people make so many excuses for why they couldn't, prepare for a test. And meanwhile, I was off training as my #1 priority. And I always said that throughout school, that my #1 priority would be working out. Even if it was a final, I was in the gym later that day or before that final. And people, I couldn't understand why people couldn't fit things in. And I think it's just a matter of, taking the initiative and being an adult and organizing your day and planning things out, because there is time to fit it all in if you really want. And I work too, so.
Well, I did a Rick's Corner on motivation. It was one of the last ones I did, and how you motivate yourself to do things. And one of my main motivations, first thing when I get up, is my workout.
Yeah.
That's the main course of my day. I mean, that gets me started, and from that point on throughout the day, I'm motivated to do everything because I have that behind me. And
exactly.
I know that, and if you can dedicate yourself and commit yourself to that, you can commit yourself to anything.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's something that you want to do. I think working out sets the tone for everything else you do in life.
It does. And a lot of people don't realize that. We just go to work every day to find and say, wow, you got so much time in your hands, you just go to the gym all day long. I don't go all day, I go for an hour.
Yeah.
An hour and a half tops, and that's part of my day. If I have to go early, if I have something to do, some work or film something, I'll go earlier, or I'll go later in the day, but at some point I'll fit it in there, because it has to be done. And as far as pro wrestling, there's so many guys today who want to get in the ring, they don't train, they don't do anything to stay in shape, and it's really important to have that as part of your curriculum, because you want to be in shape for what you're going to do, because you're going to sell to the audience, and they want to see somebody who's in shape.
Exactly, and my whole thing going forward too is like, cardiovascular activity is something that is so important for anything. For wrestling, you have to be able to move in that ring, and 5-minute match. Yeah. People don't realize you're going 100% for 5 minutes. I mean, try sprinting for 5 straight minutes.
Yeah, same thing.
You have to be in shape.
You've got to be in shape, and your workout's got to come first, and your diet is key. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
you are what you eat.
Pretty much.
So.
Yeah.
If I had a burger last night, that's what I am today. But it's really important, and I wanted to bring Austin on to talk about this because he does so many things, and it's an inspiration, and it'll be an inspiration to all of you out there to know that you can fit this into your schedule if this is really what you want to do. And like I say, we'll have some clips of him wrestling. And you're working out how many days a week?
Well, I work out every day of the week. I do something. Something every day. I mean, I'm weight training probably 4 or 5 days a week. But there's days where I'm doing three workouts, where I weight train, then I do gymnastics, then I do yoga. Not all at once, but throughout the day. So my day is consumed by it more than the average person would be, but that's because I am training for a specific goal. And now that I'm done with school, I can totally focus on this, and that's what I'm trying to do.
So you got an education on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for giving us this interview. I'm sure these guys will love to hear this and see what you've done. And stay tuned for more Rick's Corners when I bring more interesting people your way.